All right, we're now unmuted. Let me zoom this a little bit. We'll start with roll call. Just a moment.
Like sour burst, right? Well, like he gets it. And what's it called? It's so long.
Yeah.
Sure. Usually a bit of a Texas under. Thanks on that.
All right, if you quietly cross out, please, we're about to start roll call.
Yours.
Please. Excuse me. Hello? Hello?
Scream louder. That joke.
Guys, please, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're about to start roll call. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, last time doing this. Naya,
Here.
who's up?
Here.
Carol?
Here.
Hello?
Here.
I am here. Taya? Miriam? Priscilla? Priscilla.
Here.
Here.
I would.
Chintan?
Here.
Hanvi? Here. Aisha? Here. Eddie? Ishika? Here. Kushi? Shaughnessy? Ben Wood. Okay. Ryan. Yadu.
Here.
Yo.
Stanley. Amira. Here. Samyan.
Here.
Armin. Here. Solon. CK. Sophie. Here. Ryan. Another one. Bob.
I'm not sitting with.
Okay. Rafa. Here. Gustav.
Here.
Minna. Here. Kennedy. Jeffrey.
Guys, go ahead. Try to.
Anjali.
Yeah.
Alexa. Here. Gracie.
Here.
Here. AJ. Nina. David.
Here.
Catherine. Maura Lockwood. Here. Emily. Melinda. Sahasra. Kaylin. Anaya. Alex.
Here.
Simon.
Here.
Jocelyn Vargas. Sophia. Pablo Cherkis. Simi. Here. Ruhan. Khalil.
Here.
Ridvik. Jotham. Arian. Jocelyn Cruz. Maddie. Jack Terrell. Nicole Sosnick. Aditya. Pablo Tang. And any members of the public.
No, darn. Right.
Okay, that's it. Over to you, Aiden.
We'll now have 10 minutes of open forum. There are no members of the public, so there's no preference, but anyone for open forum?
Motion to allow.
All elected members of two. Any opposed? That motion clearly passes. We'll move to the, not the budget, but to the, thank God, we're not moving. To the report section, Naya, please take it away.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna cry when it comes to like communications and transition meeting. I'm not even gonna lie. Congratulations to everyone who was very newly elected. I think maybe you're this room. Congrats to our new president and vice president elect. I know highly contested. I have so much faith in you all to continue building on the foundation that you've already built on. Okay, So, couple of meetings this last week. I had my usual one with Katie, Cab, why is this so tall? Sorry. Cab met with wellness. We talked about access to services. I know there's a lot of like complaints around wait times and access to, specifically like mental health services. The wellness vending machine. Thank you. Uh, Thank you so much. We talked about the wellness vending machine, and general student well-being on campus. I think it's kind of interesting to note that wellness seems to not think that Penn students are as depressed as they're projected to be. So that was really interesting to see. Had CUD, Penn Libraries was there, but then I had to leave to go to University Council. PSG steering. I don't know when it's going to be, but just putting it out there, there will be a PSG formal again this year. That's all I have to say. We met with OGCA. We talked about lobbying efforts, government relations, local partnerships, community engagement in America 250. You can see the minutes in the drive, hopefully. And then there's also, we met with ULSE. There were not any minutes taken for this meeting, but I don't know if anyone wants to, I don't know if anyone wants to highlight anything particular. I think in general, this was our first CAB meeting with them, which is really nice. And they're really receptive to like trying to see what they could change to make the communication process better with student groups. We gave them a couple of tips, such as like creating videos on how to book rooms, being more transparent, et cetera. So I think they're going to implement some changes coming soon. Does anyone have anything else to add about ULC? So,
Oh, I was another question on OGCA.
okay.
I guess like, did they talk at all like in building government relations, also building them with like the San Francisco politicians as, I know like, okay, never mind, cause like,
No, sorry, we didn't talk about San Francisco.
what?
We didn't talk about San Francisco.
Because I know like Gordon was thinking about like moving its new site there, like, or like moving, like updating its site there.
That's
Like, I
fair.
know like they started talking about that in the office.
They did.
They already did?
Yes, they sent them, moving, I think September or something, but they.
I know my mouth.
Anything else to add to the ULSE part? And then does anyone have any questions about those past meetings that we had this last week? Any elaborations you guys want me to elaborate on briefly? I know it's a little vague. Okay, upcoming meetings, we have, I think it's our last CAB meeting, admin meeting with Frez. This would be a really interesting one. And then also Ari, Alex and I are meeting with wellness for our Penn Wellbeing Days initiative. Super excited. Hopefully they can talk about it in the next session. And then lastly, if you are considering running for a leadership position for the next session, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you coffee chat with anyone on exec, someone on CAB that you want their position. I think that it is very typical for people to underestimate the rigor of the role. It takes up a lot of time. And there's a lot of tasks people don't think about, and it can become really hard to do task completion. There's a lot of things to consider when you're thinking about running for exec and CAB. So reach out to someone. It's not nothing super formal. Just reach out to someone and be like, hey, I want to run for your role. Can you give me some tips and tricks? And that's all for now.
Okay, I met with NAP and then we had University Council, nothing too crazy. We have UA steering on Tuesday. Like, we're not gonna track attendance for you guys on that one, to be honest. But we will be talking about opening session. The provost sent out an email to all of you regarding new opening session guidelines. Highly, highly, highly suggest take the time to look at it. And then we can do some interesting things within the UA steering and University Council regarding opening session. That's all for now. Now bring up the constitutional amendment in new business.
So just want to remind everyone of the remaining schedule here. We are going to be in a different location for our next GBM, which is our comms GBM in Arch 108. It's a little more intimate, homey vibe. Unfortunately, for the people that have been here for a while, the Ben Franklin room is not available in Houston. That's our traditional space, but Arch 108 is a good vibe as well. And we'll have chairs in a circle. I've invited all the outgoing seniors, including those who are no longer on the UA, but have been on the UA for the last few years. So they've all been invited, and I know several of them will be attending as well. That's a very wholesome meeting. So definitely recommend that everyone shows up to that. And then April 12th will be the transition meeting. It will hopefully be in this room. It'll almost certainly be somewhere in Huntsman. Just need to extend the time, because that meeting usually goes on for, it's similar to a budget meeting, I'd say, so definitely block out 4 hours. I'll say there's just a tiny chance that we bump it up to 7, but expect for 7 or 8 on the 12th, and for at least 4 hours for that meeting. It might be less, might be a little bit more, but that meeting usually goes on for a while. And then after that meeting, we will be into the 54th session. This is the last week of committee meetings. So make sure you're showing up to those. You know, some of the attendance has fallen to the wayside a little bit, but definitely show up this week, last week of committees, and there won't be any more committees for the rest of the year. So this is your last opportunity to attend that. I also have DPS advisory board on Wednesday. We'll be going over the crime stats for the entire year, use of force incidents, any complaints, reviews of search warrants that were executed. So relatively interesting meeting. Any questions?
And this that happened yesterday, like around midnight, I think.
Mhm.
One of the Penn security, not Penn police, saw someone with a gun outside of campus, like 48 and like spruce, like
Okay.
not Allegro, so like maybe 5 or 6 Penn police cars were like scrambled there. So like, what's our campus non-gun like surface area? Like, I know that the campus itself is
Non-gun, like what does the law say?
on campus, because I know that PA is like open to carry, like the campus is not. So
Right.
like, what's the
That's a good question.
perimeter of the campus?
Good question. I can ask
Because
that.
technically he did nothing. He could have all that.
Yeah, if as long as they had a permit to carry the gun.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
My question is just, what's the expected attendance of next week's GVM in Arch 108? Because I don't know how many chairs there are in Arch. I can ask, but like,
Oh, I've asked for at least 50 chairs.
okay.
And Connor was like, I got you, so long as, yeah, he's a good guy, and we'll have a projector as well, but hopefully, do you anticipate that there won't be enough chairs? So there will be.
There will
We'll
be,
good.
I'll get some.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, you were asking for questions pertaining to like public safety stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you have other questions, you can go
I
ahead.
don't know, I some fuck like threw a beer bottle at my house at like 1:30 AM last night.
Mm.
It pissed me the fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
What is like the procedure?
Oh, Penn police. Philly will probably show up a couple weeks from now.
Something that you can do that?
Yeah, Penn will show up. Penn always shows up. If you call them,
Someone left a
No, some fucker was like, they were like, I swear, it's like that athlete house, it's off the street. I'm like, I can't sleep, right? It's like 1:30 AM.
yeah.
And then these fucks are like, I don't
Oh
know.
my god. Oh my god.
These
Right,
fucks are like,
that,
oh,
The kids
okay,
get you.
alright.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. It just
Like, they can't see my face.
What?
Right at that.
Realizing it doesn't matter. You don't.
anyway, all right, we'll keep it.
Don't worry, it's like-
Keep going.
Like, I don't like this brick house.
Uh-huh.
And then he proceeds to throw his beer bottle at my house, like right next to my window.
Yeah,
And then they start screaming and running.
that's a attempted murder. If you can escalate it, you can say you were threatened. You felt threatened.
We did. Because you said it was attempted murder.
Well, you felt threatened, and you were targeted because of your anyway. You could make a whole case out of this. So call Penn Police 215-573-3333,
Look, it's
and they'll always respond.
You live next to baseball.
Yo, fuck baseball. Oh, wait, sorry. I just play baseball.
That's great. Yeah. Any other questions for DPS or anything else? It was what should you do in that case? But yeah, always give them a call.
Right, all of the words he says.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. That's it. Oh, actually, does anyone's? I realize I've had this in my bag. This is from the budget meeting before spring break.
Right.
Is anyone's target?
It's not honest
How many is yours?
If nobody thinks, can I have it?
From someone
Oh.
who was a financial designate. So you voted for one left.
I can't.
I'll find him, I'll find him. Yeah.
You wait, still- the other person again. Terrible. Have we accounted for this in the budget?
Okay, hello everyone.
Passive aggressive.
Finally, the first time I'm up here, there's no budget stuff. Okay, first of all, I don't think I shared it with the body, but the gift fund for the UA is officially established. So people can start donating to us. So the plan is to establish an alumni newsletter that goes out like once a semester or something like that, and then hopefully some rich alumni or donors will sponsor us or do something. But I thought it's pretty fun. I had a meeting with Katie last week. Pretty much chilling, just some stack stuff going on. But yeah, besides that, if you guys have any feedback, thoughts, stuff like that about budget season overall, please reach out to me. I'm really curious. Love to incorporate that and like transition for the upcoming treasurer. But yeah, thank you all.
Hey guys, okay, so I had a meeting with Setley on Monday, just discussing advisory board stuff. And then I had a meeting with Penn Climate on Tuesday. They're having their launch event April 20th, so I'll definitely give the information to Naya so she can either put it in an email or like reach out to proper channels, also to Taya. Or I don't know if I can still request stuff with the comms team anymore, but yes. And so that's exciting as well. And then lastly, I was like sort of here last week, but not really for my report. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for your help during airport shuttles. This is my last official GBM as secretary, and you know, as in charge of the program, I can't thank you enough for all of your help, advertising, being in the videos. Simi, I definitely watched you slap in De Silva like 60 times in that video, and Jay, I can't thank you enough. And then also Simon, thank you for your help. We almost had an injury there, but we avoided. I really enjoyed doing the morning shifts and Friday with you all this past time, so I just want to thank you all. And hopefully, thanks to Mo, we have the funding for airport shuttles, and thanks to you all. So, the next secretary will be able to fully fund the program. That is all for me. Thank you guys for great.
Copy and paste this. There we go. 16. Sorry.
I hate all of you. I hate you guys. I hate. Where's the mouse? There it is. What? Okay, since I don't know how to be concise,
I'm not gonna talk about all this, so past meetings we had, DHT, Melinda, Aisha, and myself met with business services about health code violations in 1920 Commons. I'm gonna be having farewell meetings with Dombrowski, RHS, Dining and Transit, as well as with Michael Scale, so that way the next DHT director is in a good spot. And then, yeah, DHT barbecue, April 25th. You guys better fucking be there. Sorry. And what's it called? Projects. So housing is still going strong, working with business services on a potential late night like coffee pop-up for final season in like college housing. For dining, the big one is the Noodle Nook is here. So congratulations for Ishika. Just to give a quick rundown for this QR code, this is just like the actually, do you want to talk a little bit about the QR code? Just quickly.
Please fill out the QR code for like a feedback form. I sent this out in DHT and I also put it in the Slack. But I didn't get many responses, so we're putting it here as like a QR code. Please give me your feedback on the Noodle Nook. You will see like pictures on, when you scan the QR code, you'll see like pictures of like the flavor options, you'll see the prices, you'll see like tell me like ways to contact you. If you could give me advice about the Noodle Nook, just like let me know exactly what you guys want to change, because now is like the pilot stage where we can make these changes, and I really want the UA to like really be involved in this project. So thank you guys.
Yours?
Just a piece of feedback. I think the feedback form should be anonymous. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Or if nothing else, what's it called? Also, healthy drinks are now available in McClellan, including juice and milk, so that's also great. And then transit, the focus. Oh, what's up?
Oh, would it be possible to have like the QR code on the mission itself or something?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
putting it on there very, very soon.
Mo?
Do you know how quick they are with like maintenance and like issue with the machine?
So essentially what they told me is that like when the noodles are at, or like when the stock of the noodles is at like a 15% threshold, this is like what the yokai representative said. When it's at the 15% threshold, they're gonna restock it. But I did see like a couple of times, I think, well, it was installed on Monday. And then Tuesday, like the yokai rep came and it was like up and running. I did see like, and I did hear from some people that it was like it was like out of service. So I'm gonna be talking to like the canteen rep about that because they're the ones that like actually restock the machine. But definitely like I'm trying to like work up and make sure that they're like maintaining it and so that it's like not out of stock. Good question, yeah.
But yeah, just quickly moving on, transit, the focus groups have finished, and now they're gonna be meeting with Penn Transit to have longer term discussions on improvements to the app. And then some other short stuff is that the census should be dropping the 13th and will run until the census will drop April 6th and run until the 13th, and then the report will be out for the 54th session by the 20th. But that is about me. Thank you guys so much for a great session. Congrats to all the elected members. Bye, Katie.
Best time.
Yeah, Alexa, yeah. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
So.
Oh, no.
Ambulance.
Everyone.
Yeah.
All right, not a lot of updates. One to like, I think my sole committee member here, Sophie. We have a Van Leeuwen Sophie. Oh, Chinmay, I didn't see you there. I didn't realize you were here. Okay. Right, but Julian like knows what like, Julian remembers when our social is. Right? Yeah, okay. We were gonna present like these two completed projects today. One was just a sort of a resource guide for freshmen, especially on safe AI usage, how to use it with different classes, research, how to be safe about it, how to avoid like plagiarism and so on. And the second one was about this like study buddy system for graduate school test prep. And because there's just like kind of low attendance here today from like my committee and the assembly, I think we'll bump these two discussions to next, like the beginning of next session. But I just wanted to give you guys like a quick update on what we've been up to. Thanks.
Okay, amazing. So for CES, we will be having a Chinatown food crawl social during committee. So very exciting for that. I'll text you guys up. CES on top. And then real quick, so for a project update, Catherine, Jack, and Pablo have been working with Penn Labs, who is still very willing to work with us, which is wonderful. And they kind of created this mock-up. This is gonna be integrated into Penn Mobile, likely like next semester. They're working on the timeline for that, but UA will have its own section. So that'll be really exciting. It's linked on the agenda if you wanna take a look more closely later. And then next, our senior Gustav is gonna present.
Let me carry it.
Are you hurting?
I am. I ran the love run this morning. And I injured both my feet while running, so.
Oh. And he still came to GBM. He's a senior. Oh my god, he's a beautiful man.
Okay,
Shoes?
no, I'm not. Hopefully that's okay.
Oh, that's the dogs.
Okay, in case I haven't met any of you, my name's Gustav, I'm a senior.
Our longest standing.
Right, that's right. You can take a look at all the other seniors in the room. You might. Okay, the project that I've been focusing on this semester, I've been working closely with Jocelyn, who isn't here unfortunately. But it's like a transfer mentorship program. So the idea, and one thing I want to preface before starting, I think this project will take like a lot of steps in the next session. But this is more so like introducing the foundation. So hopefully someone in the committee can kind of take over the project from there. But just to lay out the groundwork. Hey, right, so, yeah, so the goal of the program is to allow transfer students to have a greater ability to integrate with the general Penn student body. And so the idea would be to pair a transfer student with a student who has been here since their first year here. I've been in communication with TSO and some of the transfer student organizations. This is a program that they're like lacking. They do have a program set in place where transfer students, like upperclassmen transfer students, are paired with underclassmen transfer students, but there's no like intersection between like first year Penn students and transfer students. So this was kind of the motivation for that. Okay, and so this would kind of work. Currently in contact with members of the 27-28 class boards. And this will probably extend to 29 as well. Probably will extend to 26 just because we're graduating. But the idea would be to create a form that gauges common interests and involvements. This is where I seek some of your input on what other kind of mutual interests would be good to pair these two groups of students. And the idea, just because developing an algorithm would be kind of difficult, the idea is that we manually pair students based on the interest form together. And that'll be something that Jocelyn is very willing to take on in the upcoming session. All right. And then so I wanted to kind of introduce a pilot within the UA. I think earlier last session, so session 52, we used to have like a mentorship program in place, or we'd have like a mentor mentee. But from what I've experienced over the course of the 53rd session, that's kind of like fiddled out a little bit, which is unfortunate. So the idea would be to kind of introduce that again, excluding class of 26, so 27, 20, 29, fair game. And so as like a pilot program, Jocelyn and I over the next week, we'll configure these pairings within the UA. And ideally, if time allows for the upcoming GBM, maybe we can quickly pair both together too. But I leave that to the upcoming exec. So yeah, and so here is some questions. Sorry, some questions before getting started. If you guys had any, we have like you'll be able to see the form on the next slide that we've already created. But if you have any possible questions or criteria to match people together, kind of sync people well, always very open to hear that. And you can also reach out to Slack, reach out in the Slack to me over that. That'd be great. And I think saying this is really easy, but in practice, like making sure that like there's some sort of interaction between the transfer student and the longtime Penn student is difficult. I'm not saying they have to be like the best of friends or whatever, but just so transfer students kind of have that foot in the door adjustment to Penn. That's the goal here. And what does outreach for this look like, except aside from TSO and class board letters? I think, yeah, the idea that I had in mind would be like class boards when they send out their emails to the class. This would be a good way to, this form would be a good thing to kind of send out or gauge mentor interest. And then we'd retrieve that list and then we'd share it with TSO, and then that's how both groups would be in communication with one another. Right? And so yeah, this should be the right side. Okay, yeah. So I ask that you all take just a minute and scan this form. I'll be more stingy about this as the week goes on. You obviously don't have to fill it out right now, but ideally, if you could fill this out by like Wednesday night.
It's
Great, I had one job, right? I'll fix that. Apologies. But I'll fix that right now. Tony will you can that. Okay. But
so you're allowed to do that.
But by Wednesday night, ideally, I don't expect you to fill this all now, but by Wednesday night, and I'll bump it again. That would be phenomenal. And then next week, hopefully, we can have some pairings in the UA. Yeah. Right.
How do I get? Yes. Okay. And that is, oh my God, where is the mouse? Oh, there. Okay. And that is all for CES. Thank you guys.
That's most like a pack of like those like Sour Patch Kids gummies.
Hey.
Like that, fuck yeah.
Everyone, I don't really have much, but I do wanna say that Jeffrey and I had a really great meeting with Philo. And like, we have a lot of planning to do over the summer, but there will be an art gallery next semester. Yeah. We'll figure out the social, but I think it's figured out. Hey, everyone, bye. Hi, everyone. I also don't have to. Wow, thanks for the applause. Not too much to report, but if the resolution passes later tonight, we're gonna be doing a bit of comms promotion for that. Also, there was no promotion this past week just because of elections. We didn't want to like spotlight certain projects and not spotlight others. But in this next week or so, I'm happy to promote like Noodle Nook, last push for international mentorship, that kind of stuff. So let me know if you do want like a last push before the session ends. And we've also got a social coming up for comms. And I think that's about it. So thanks, guys.
Whoa, yeah, I was just opening it, but I won't open it.
Wait.
Are there any motions to consider document?
Motion to consider the federal immigration enforcement resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, no. All elected members in favor of considering this document, any opposed?
I don't know that.
You're opposed?
Oh,
Thank you. All right, that motion clearly passes. We will now entertain this for the second week. You'll have 3 minutes to present the document, and then we'll have 5 minutes for question and answer.
Okay, so nothing's really changed too much from the last time you guys saw this. I did add where it said like Allied Universal, wherever it said that. I also added any other private security. I took Khalil's feedback there. Let me see if I can. Allied. Just kidding, apparently. Just. Oh. Okay, maybe not this one. I think it's on a different version. Oh, great.
We can swap. Yeah, well, we can just like,
I mean, it's literally just the like or other side of the securities, I guess.
I think we should probably have the one that we're gonna, because you could just pull some crazy stuff.
You're right. Okay, let me switch. Let me link the
Yeah,
other one.
yeah.
You can go. So,
So-
motion to end this.
second.
You could like recess.
Yeah, let's just rescind and redo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so- or yeah, I mean, if you just relink it.
Wait, yeah. I mean, it's like.
Wait, Aiden, what's going on?
No one to refresh.
Well, we were just gonna
It's the
start
wrong-
with new subs, but you're just gonna relink it. This isn't the most updated version.
What is missing the word?
Motion.
Oh, it isn't the most updated?
People
Is there a
meet.
second?
Oh. Oh, did you motion a table, Simon? You fucking bitch.
Yeah, we'd like that to be with.
Hate speech.
We are still being recorded.
That's ever stopped him.
Yeah, wow.
So much DHD's here. This is phenomenal.
How could I send it?
I just saw this happen overseas.
Actually,
She's so cool.
Do you need a second?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Alright, we're good. Alright, guys, if we could, let's have again,
I did. Tell me if it didn't work, so I didn't see it.
I'll give you 2.5.
Yeah.
Maybe quiet the crowd talk, please.
God.
Oh my god.
Is it-
No, it's not.
Okay.
We just refreshed it.
I get it.
It's just showing for maturity.
You didn't think
yourself.
You're president?
One more time we can switch.
No, it's literally just
Okay.
like three words.
Wait, I already know my theory of it. I think it's just the thought, right? It's like- This is like something.
It's like cool tears. No, you're so stupid therapy and I just never do it, so now I can do it for, right, maybe that'll be the nudge.
Can I just have the link?
Would you send it to the?
Alright, there.
Alright, guys.
Okay.
We can listen up, please.
Yes.
Sorry, literally the only thing I added was, or any private contracted security guards, just in case Allied were to change out at any point. Or there's another temporary replacement of security guards. And then Pierce very kindly redid all of my citations, so now there's like in-text citations. So that's the only thing that has changed. So are there any questions, feedback? Can we enter that?
Well, yeah, we can have that. There's 5 minutes for.
Somebody?
Hi, okay, it's a very, very specific one. I think it appears once in there, but when I was reading through it, there's something that says like has a legal obligation, legal and or moral obligation. I just wanted to confirm that there's an actual legal obligation that the university has as opposed to saying like the university should.
Are you saying like, is there a genuine legal?
Yeah.
I think I wanted to say like in regards to like FERPA, for example, Fourth Amendment rights, those things are supposed to be. Like,
And also-
that's supposed to be actively known, yes.
Also, like, our safety within campus is the legal responsibility of
Yes, also the safety aspect is within the legal aspect of for compliance of the university. Any other questions? Any motions? Can you?
So we do need to debate.
Okay, let's debate it.
But we could maybe allow this Q&A. Second. All elected members in favor?
Not yet.
Any opposed? That motion clearly passes. We will now have debate with speakers alternating pro and con. Questions may also be asked during this time. Do not contribute to the total time for debate. Any person may speak multiple times in the same motion. No speech shall exceed 3 minutes in length. Do we have anyone that would like to speak pro?
we allow some.
Yes.
Second.
Well, with there was.
Is there a motion?
Sorry,
Motion to allow.
Oh.
last debate. So second, all elected members in favor? Any opposed? That motion clearly passes. We will now enter voting procedure. Will be a roll call vote as this is a resolution.
Gustav's thing, yes.
Okay, so just to go over, we're doing I and nay. I is you want the amendment to pass, nay, you do not want the amendment.
Resolution.
The resolution, sorry, guys. The resolution on federal immigration enforcement. Sorry, okay, Naya,
Aye.
Musa? Carol? No,
Abstain.
I vote aye. Thea?
Abstain.
Miriam? De Silva?
Aye.
Chinmay?
Nay.
Tanvi?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Aisha?
Aye.
Ishika?
Aye.
Pierce?
Aye.
Amira?
Aye.
Samyang?
Aye.
Charmaine?
Aye.
Solon?
Aye.
Sophie? Aye. Brian, ZK? And Kavance?
Aye.
Alright. This resolution passes 16 aye, 1 nay, 3 abstentions.
Okay, we'll work with Taya and the rest of the comms team to push out some marketing information around this, and lots of collaboration with APSC, LC, PIR, and anyone else who is interested moving for the next week or so.
Wait, now, do you mind reloading real quick? There's one more thing we wanted to quickly add before we move to with Moose's consent, of course,
The
because consent's very important.
For
Kus, do you
Kristoff.
want to quickly see this?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the QR code for Kusov's. Well, you weren't talking about so my bad. Go ahead.
This is the QR code that wasn't working like 10 minutes ago, so hopefully that works.
Sorry, when did
No, I'm gonna shoot myself with this.
should pass this, who is this getting sent to again, sorry?
All relevant offices, including the president's office, provost, trustees, and anyone else that's implicated.
Isn't gonna get sent to ISS? No.
Can we send it to Vice Provost of Global Initiatives?
Yeah, global initiative.
It was
Already
sent.
approved.
It was already
So
approved,
yeah,
yeah.
this is what we've approved. I mean, I can send it to them, but
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
okay.
not, it's not gonna change the language of the document.
But like, can it be just, I feel like.
Yeah, I can absolutely send it to them.
Why is Aiden on there?
Both, but please, ISS and Vice Provost.
Alright.
Well, it like, it's not delivered to them, but they are listed
Yeah.
in the resolve.
Yeah.
That's on me.
So,
Rafa, did you hear that? They're not listed to be directly delivered to, but they are listed in the resolved clause. That
Oh,
was a mistake on my end.
okay, no. worries. Oh,
Just for the,
okay,
Yeah, cause I feel like they'd be like, we just heard of this, we didn't know anything, they'll be like.
alright, thank you guys. So we're not quite done yet. Do we have any other motions to consider documents? All elected members in favor of considering the potential constitutional amendment? Any opposed? That motion clearly passes. You'll have 3 minutes to present, and we'll have 5 minutes of Q&A.
Okay, timeline. The NEC needs 2 weeks before a referendum or an amendment or an election happens in order to get their own process going. So my fear is that if it is not passed by the end of this semester, we will not meet as a body like enough weeks out to pass it in the fall for it to be on the election ballot in the fall. So I want to like deliberate this heavily, and then if there is positive support, we can always vote on it or table it to the 19th and pass it in the next session. This is my thought process for offering like multiple streams to amend the constitution. Just let me know your thoughts. The percentages and numbers are like somewhat arbitrary, somewhat modeled after like other types of like governments, but let me know what you guys think. Obviously open to switching stuff around.
Okay, is that so?
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll now have 5 minutes for Q&A. Any questions?
in the 66%, you meant to say super majority, right? I think super majority should be nicer than 66%, and that's the brackets.
Wait, the supermajority clearly 66%. I thought it can also mean like 75
Oh, 66.
or
Two-thirds.
two-thirds. Okay,
Yeah, you can verify both.
So
change this.
are you amending it?
Majority?
Is this a friendly amendment?
Yeah.
Is it?
Wait. Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't change the
Percentage,
difference.
I feel like for aesthetics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
So,
But, wait. Can I straw poll it?
sure, yeah,
Wait, do you guys care if it's 66 versus supermajority?
both. Like,
Or like, would you prefer 66% instead of the word supermajority?
You look 6'7" now.
Shut up. Oh, you-
67% of your,
yeah, 67%, yes.
We're saying
it's almost supposed to amendment to do 67% of the
You're gonna
US.
get clowned so much.
It should be 67%, not 66,
okay.
because it rounds up to 67 and then two.
Yeah, 66.67.
Wait, that's a friendly amendment, 67%.
Okay, are there two
Yeah, you
elected
just changed
members that object to this?
Object to this.
Yeah, I do have
amendment
this
or the
hand,
amendment to the amendment.
The friendly amendment of changing wording to 60.
Hey, can you say it again?
No, I have a question. I wasn't
Can you say it
objecting.
again?
So,
Because technically it should be,
No, legally it's 67, by the way.
Don't actually mad at like.
this is a friendly amendment unless,
Say it again.
okay, if only one member objects, then it's to my discretion if we wanna discuss it further. Are there any people that object to this? Do you object?
Oh, no, I have a question.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just curious, like, are we able to like amend the constitution? I thought the constitution has like super narrow ways to amend it, or is it kind of like we're like hand waving, like we're hand waving it?
Wait, that's
it's
what
so
the
automatic.
current bylaw is. Or the current, like, constitutional. amendment.
This is, us passing this is not gonna suddenly change the constitution.
Yeah.
This is just starting the process. to allow.
But like, this is like,
It would like start the process to make this a referendum
no.
for, and then if the referendum passes, then it would be changed.
Right, but I'm saying like, can you even like say, can you even give like alternative ways for the constitution to be amended?
I mean, doesn't say I can't.
Okay.
Or are we? So amendment process.
So there's no objections to that. This is the current form. There's still 4.5 minutes for questions.
Which I changed to 67.
Yeah.
Yeah, if no one is.
Yeah, so-
Wait, y'all.
Oh, hold on. You have a question, Jan?
Fine.
Yeah, I have a question, but is the amendments process done? I was in.
Yeah, wait, turn it up a little bit. Yeah. We're.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious, post-COVID, what have numbers looked like for referendums that have been initiated? Has it hit that 20% or come close to it?
Yeah, with the last referendum was when the MSA in spring of 24 did a like call to divestment, and that saw 22%.
Okay, and what would, I mean, do you think we would be able to get 20% to pass this amendment? I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I know like back in the 90s, they tried to pass a series of 2 constitutional amendments, and even then they couldn't get like 20% with, and they had like crazy turnout back then. So I'm just curious, kind of like what you see the path moving forward.
I think it's a matter like there's only one path, and that's trying to hit the 20% bar. That's why you get to pair it with an election. And also, I think like if we can like do some degree of voter reach out, there's a possibility we can hit 20%. Yeah, just over.
I guess what's the order in which like this is going to happen? Where like, do we have to first vote on the as a UA on an amendment to the Constitution, and then we have a referendum, or is it going to be a referendum and then like vote by the UA?
So the way it works is within the UA, this needs to pass on a 2/3 supermajority, and then it gets sent to the NEC. The NEC like does some deliberation process I'm not sure about, and then they do whatever referendum timeline, etc.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, also the last thing is, let me know your thoughts on 44 I added. I added this because I wanted like so we can track if we're hitting the bars properly or not. Yeah, no.
So if we get 100% of elected members to be in favor, like, who decides what number we go in? You know what I mean?
Oh, so
That's
it's
not-
technically 100% can mean 80%.
So could you clarify what you?
So like, let's say all elected members are in favor of a certain amendment.
Mhm.
Do we go with like number 3 where we only need 5%? Or do we go with any of the first 2 options as well? Like who decides like what?
I'll take a
Yeah.
Another thing,
Yeah.
even though like it may seem like intuitive that we're gonna do like the timeline, I think we should write it down how the timeline will look like.
Which timeline?
Like, are we starting the referendum first or the elections?
Wait, that's already lined out in
Yeah, it's already-
NEC. Yeah.
So I think this is more of like a point of order, but so if we were to want this constitution amendment to happen, we vote on it here and then,
I think it's sent to the NEC.
okay, so it also depends on, have you consulted the NEC on this?
Yeah. Wait, they just didn't want me to do it on the spring ballot.
Yeah, but like after the change, have you or?
Wait, they don't offer like an opinion on the referendum.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, listen.
Since they're fall elections, typically like less turnout, I would say, because it's just like for the new students, like how do you think they can be able to get the 20%?
But I think it's a matter of like, there's no other option. And might as well try it in the fall. And then also I think like, how many votes were in this fall election? Like 1,000, maybe? Yeah, there's like 1,000, and then like, between all of us, we get like 20 friends to vote. We could hit 20%, I think. Yeah.
But also like, I don't think that all of the incoming class will vote on this because it's their first week at plan seeing this, like,
Yeah.
why are they gonna skate for the conflict case because they don't know what's going
Wait,
on?
I agree, but I also don't think like the fact that it's difficult to pass should not be a deterrent to passing in the first place. Like, there's no other way to do it. Yeah.
I think that there's a question of, should we have freshmen vote on this? Like, do they know anything about the UA constitution? Like, are they truly considered, like, I mean, I guess they vote on their own representatives, but they're not allowed to vote in this like coming like what are the
Wait,
like
I just don't think-
implications behind that?
But I don't think a freshman in September is like significantly worse knowledgeable about the UA than like a senior in March, you know? Just because they're tapped out with student government.
I agree, I think like,
And the entire school can vote.
Yeah, I don't think we should restrict it by class.
Yeah.
so it's not gonna be restricted.
No, of course, this is the entire school will
Yeah.
have access to this. Last time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I don't think it's worth right now debating how we vote on it, because it's going to have to be within the fall election cycle.
Yeah.
Right? I think now we need to center our debate and our questioning on the proposed amendments at hand, and I think, yeah, like, I think Mo brought up a good point of how, like, when we reach a certain threshold, like, what actually, like, what do we follow here?
Yeah.
So I think that's something to take into consideration.
How would we reword it so like if it's clear that if you hit 100%, you can do the 5%? Yeah, Tommy.
I would suggest like switching the order and starting with the 100%. Because like, if you say that, then that's like the first thing you see is like, if 100 people, then it will be 5%. And maybe making more clear, like with the specific wording of like, if 100% of UA elected members are in favor, then 5%, like, then the specific number of 5%. Like, then only 5% need to,
Yeah, I guess you could also do like ranges like 67 to 79%.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Wait, and I might be reading this wrong, but the way it's currently written, doesn't it need to be exactly 80%? Shouldn't it be like 80%?
At least. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay. Can I make friendly amendment to my own favor?
Yeah.
Okay, we all amended to.
Unless there are any objections.
Wait, I don't think it's.
But you have to like show
Yeah,
it.
Wait, the idea is, do something like this. And then like.
It has to be like 79.9.
Yeah, can I raise a point?
Yeah.
I don't think you actually need to say like at least or like more than that, because like even if like 90% are in favor, like 80% are in favor, right? Like. If you ate like a whole pie, you ate half a pie, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
Yeah.
That's actually the issue because
I think you also should like, I like the idea of switching it. So you start with 100% and go
Yeah.
decreasingly down, but I also think you should like logic it a bit, so it's like 100% and 5%, like making those like
Or like.
the and is
Very important.
a very important thing, and then between 1 and 2 is or. And or,
Gotcha.
right, because then it's, okay, both of these need to happen.
Yeah,
Or both of these next conditions need to happen, or both of these next conditions need to happen.
okay, I'll take that as a friendly amendment.
And just show us and then in case anyone objects.
Like this or.
Switch 2 and 3.
Wait, I like.
Can we-
I don't get the
can you
point
add
of it,
something?
though. Like, what is this? Like, this just seems like
Okay.
more complicated.
We'll just go one at a time here. Does anyone object to this friendly amendment?
I can get rid of you with
Yeah,
that.
I don't like a big, like, I don't really care. I think it's like fine either way. I just like, it just doesn't like seem to really. Like make sense. You have to like line up these like percentages in a more complicated. Like how it was before, I think was totally fine. That's how like constitutions are typically written, right? When they say
Well,
like
that's kind of how our
2/3
bylaws are
it
as
doesn't mean
well.
perfectly 2/3.
Yeah.
Huh?
But here the issue that you have the other options. Like you need to make it clear that if you have that option, you can only vote on that.
But I think the idea is that like as the percentages are lower, then the and other thing is lower. So it's like how it is before, it's still clear that if you only have, say, 70%, then you need to have a simple majority of undergraduate voters in like this last requirement.
Do you object to what has been amended to what we see here?
Yeah, I think it was better before.
Okay, is there a second person that objects to this current version? You object? Okay. So you can withdraw the amendment unilaterally. If you choose not to, the amendment shall be considered. So we can debate on this. So we'll have 2 minutes for the proposer to present the amendment, which I guess, you, and then 3 minutes for Q and A, then into debate and.
Point of question, Lord.
Yeah.
Can we add like, can you collect all of the discuss what's like?
We can do that, and we can, well, we have to look at them separately, but we can go from most to least destructive.
Bit later, like a little bit.
What
We like postpone this like amendment till we finish discussing of the whole.
I can withdraw the amendment.
You can
now,
withdraw.
and we can keep discussing and we can come back to this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll withdraw it then.
I have another question that's important.
So you're withdrawing the change to the amendment?
Correct, so we're back to this.
Ben, what was like, so you are okay completely with how it's written?
I think like how it's written, or even just saying like 2/3, 4/5 or all, but like,
I-
I think it's fine.
I agree that we didn't need to put the ranges, like, I feel like, yeah, again, if you've eaten a whole pie, you've eaten half of it, right? 81% is still 80%.
Right.
I just do think there is some merit to trying to not figure out, but like,
Yeah, I think Mo had a good point.
yeah, like, okay, which conditions need to be satisfied?
I mean,
You could just add another one as well, it's just like, you could add like a point 4 that's like. Like, directly addressing those points, like if you
Do you
hit,
think this is like a threshold, like if you at least get that much, you could do that option?
Well, I'm not saying bring it as a threshold, it's that it says you can do it in any of the following ways.
Yeah.
So it's clear that like if any of each of these like one bullet is met, that you can amend. So like to like create this range, I think suggests it's like a different understanding where it's like tiered. And I get like thinking is that it's kind of in a tiered system, but like I think that's more complicated and like as it is I think like very clear. If you have 67%, you need a simple majority. If you have 80%, you need this like 7.5%. If you have 100%, you need 5%. So like if any one of these is met, then you've met the standard.
Just when the issue is that the wording that now says, for example, if you have 100%, people may choose to do 67%.
But then that's fine, right? They can still do that.
Okay, so
Technically, yeah, right.
But like I would think it would make sense to, because if you have 100%, then there would be no need to 50% of undergraduates.
Yeah.
Then you would just pull 5%.
alright, can we, sorry, could we have, we're just calling people and this should still be like a question and answer, so we will debate this in a moment. Yaru also does have this.
yeah, Yadu.
Yeah, I have a question about the percentage of voters. So it looks like at least it could be interpreted a few different ways, right? Like when we talk about total UA elected members, is that members present at the meeting when it's voted on? Is that percent of the total membership? What are you envisioning there?
What do you think?
I mean, generally for bylaw amendments is members present. What does Congress do? I think it's just present, right? I don't think it's membership.
Yeah, we definitely put resolutions we do present and then parliamentary we do present, so it's probably be members present.
Right.
Okay, I'll friendly amendment that one. I guess.
It should be like, it's usually written members present. So written members present. Are there any objections to this? Objection? Yeah. Okay, any other objections before we continue? Yes. Okay, so I'll wait on that. Is that in the thing? Yes. Okay. Where we're really getting it, this is a wonderful last meeting where we're in the weeds of amending amendments. So either you can withdraw this or we can have 2 minutes to present, which I guess would be Yadu would be presenting the amendment. Then 3 minutes for question and answer and then the
Yeah.
So unless you want to withdraw it, Yadu, you'll present your amendment for 2 minutes.
Yeah, time starts now.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is really just for clarity. I mean, to aid in the interpretation of what you know, the different percentages like 67% or 80% or 100% of total members mean. I think having members present makes more sense than total membership because sometimes there are extenuating factors with total membership. Let's say there's a time sensitive amendment that needs to be passed in a few weeks in the potential future session, but some members are unable to vote or they're away or they couldn't make the GBM, even if those members are all in favor of an amendment to qualify for a higher threshold. That wouldn't be able to be reached. It wouldn't really reflect the true will of the assembly. And just, I mean, in comparing across other elected parliamentary bodies, generally it is 2/3 or 75% or whatever standard that's been set of the vote at that particular day. It's not necessarily of the total membership. But again, open to hearing people's thoughts on this, and that's the purpose of the debate. But I think the main thing is we just clarify it beyond like 60% of total members, but actually make it more specific there.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll now have 3 minutes for questions and answers specifically on this proposed amendment. And I guess maybe you could call people.
Yeah, clear.
What's the current quorum? Right,
The what?
like members quorum, like the
Oh.
number of.
Depends on like how many people are present.
You're like, how many EMs are there right now total?
Yeah, like, is it 2/3 or?
Majority.
Thirds?
Yeah.
Yes.
So my question was like regarding quorum, just like, should we add for clarity as well? I agree with the fact, like the members present part, but members present while still meeting quorum.
Wait, I think in UA bylaws, we can't vote unless we have quorum.
Okay,
It's in the Constitution. You need quorum, so that's already fine.
Yeah, clear.
Small question, but like, we have the minimum quorum, it's like 1%. So it's gonna be only like 34% of UA members. It's like the minimum to pass an amendment. And this constitutional amendment, do you think like that's enough to represent the UA?
But I think it's a matter of like, how we do things normally. For example, like resolutions, which are also pretty important, are still 2/3 members present, bylaw amendments for 2/3 members present. I think you have always the worst case scenario where there's people who just don't show up and are technically still EMs that kind of lead to a dead count. Zika.
I have two questions. First is about, are there any other precedents for all members being necessary, like all elected members having to vote to pass something, or is this like non-existent in the constitution?
Wait, to my knowledge, there's nothing like that.
And my second question is for the 100% of elected members present, let's say we have quorum, but because we are using the bar of 100%, it's worrying to me at least a little bit because there might be one member who can't come that day and might vote against it. So I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, that's also true for anything we do in the UA. Like, there could be someone who came here and really wanted to keep voting no, you know.
The change from 7.5, for example, to 5% is a great number of undergraduates accelerated classes. So a little iffy there.
Yeah.
So 1 more minute for questions.
Or no.
Yeah, I was just like doing some math. So for next session right now, we have 24 elected members. 67% is, I think, 16. Let me just double check so I don't say. It's 16 members. And you need around 1,500 undergraduates to participate. 80% is 19 elected members. So that's 3 more elected members, but it drops by 750. And then if it's 100%, that's 4 more elected members, but you drop by 250. Do you want to try to like do the math where it's like
Proportionate?
Yeah, proportionate or no, like.
Or wait, in my mind, I think it's the gap between hitting like 67 and 80 is a lot easier than hitting 80 and 100. Because one signals like some degree of like unanimous support, while the other's like, okay, 2/3 is 80%.
Yes. So we've hit 3 minutes for question and answer.
Or you take 10, like 2 minutes.
2 additional minutes.
Second.
There's second. All elected members in favor? Any opposed? That motion clearly passes. We'll have 2 more minutes for questions.
Ben?
Yeah, wait, kind of similar to Mo, I'm a little bit confused as to how the percentages of undergraduates participating was picked. Also, like the 80% of UA elected members seems arbitrary, because like as Mo says, you have this issue where like 13% more of UA members represent 7.5 additional, and then 20% more of UA members represent like 2.5%. So like it just like, are the numbers just because they're like clean numbers, or like is that like supposed to be representative?
Wait, it's like definitely
Oh, it's like-
relatively arbitrary.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought it was like common sense arbitrary, if that makes sense. I wasn't like drawing numbers.
It's not
out of
like
a
you're
hat.
like trying to like
Yeah,
play
yeah,
games. I get that, yeah, but.
Just so.
Would you be open to amending these percentages to making them more proportional?
Wait, in my opinion, I think that like the gap between 2/3 and 4/5 is like a lot closer and easier to hit than 80 and 100. For example, like on this resolution just now, we had 80%, I would say, and then that's not signaling 100%. And so I think like there's like a big perceptual difference, or like like how people feel in the UA difference between 80 and 100 versus 2/3 and 4/5. Yeah, come on.
Also, I'm just gonna say, I think it'll be hard to do that our class numbers are not the same each year, so it would never ever be proportional year to year, because our class numbers are each year. So I think this will kind of be trying to make it proportional now, because it will not be the same next year.
And we'll try to.
Oh,
keep
sorry,
it-
question is, do you think it'll be a good use?
Yeah, I got you.
Point of order.
Yeah.
How would we like introduce like potential amendments to the amendments?
So, wait, stop right here. So, are you trying to amend what we are currently debating, this amendment?
I wanna amend, yeah, I just wanna amend what we're debating, mostly just like a potential change of the amendment, and I'm also more than happy to talk about it, of maybe like going from like having 80% like be equal instead of 7.5 to 10%, and then 100% be equal to 7.5 instead of like, 5%. Cause yeah, I do kind of worry about like just what feels like a really dramatic jump between 67 to 80% in terms of the undergraduates we need input from. What's it called? But would that like how would we get?
So we can have one amendment to an amendment, just like we did for budget. So you can propose that, we can write it on the board, or we can just show it on the screen, and then, well, yeah, let's at least write it, and then you can decide if
Yeah.
it's a friendly or unfriendly amendment.
So you wanna do 7.5 to 10?
10 and then 5 to like 7.5.
I'm in Q&A now.
Sorry, is this a friendly amendment?
Nah.
Oh, dude.
Alright. So we'll continue on, do.
Can we like?
Yeah.
Is there any other questions?
Wait, why was that not a friendly amendment?
Wait, I just think that's 7.5 and 5%. Or you should ask a question for my watching and then I can explain it, or should I say that for debate?
Musa, would you have considered friendly if we kept it like 5% for 100?
Wait, my rationale for 7.5 and 5% is a lot of the changes that may want to be made to constitution, even like constitutional relevant changes, are very, very boring things that I don't think people on the UA care, people outside the UA care about. And I think it's very, very hard to galvanize to get votes for even more than 500 kids about a constitutional change that's procedural within the UA. So I think like that's why I thought the bar at 7.5 and 5% would be low. I mean, so.
Do you mind if I ask a follow-up?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanna make sure we're doing this beautifully by the book here. So, because you said it's unfriendly, would you like to withdraw your amendment, or would you like to move forward?
I would like to at least have a discussion about it, yeah. To go forward with it. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. I know, I'm ruining your guys' Sunday night, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we'll start with 2 minutes for you to present your amendment.
Just let me know when you're ready, sir.
Whenever you're ready.
Perfect, so, yeah, guys, I honestly very much do agree with like most of the constitutional amendment that Musa is proposing. I do think that like, in times of like need, we do need to be able to like amend our constitution with a lot more flexibility. That being said, I am a little concerned by like the jump in terms of like undergraduates we need input from, 7 to 8%. Because like asking for 750 less undergrads to vote on amendment just based on like, 13% of UA members present feels like a very unproportional jump. What's it called? I think that like moving that more towards like the 10, no, you don't think so, Mo? I'm sorry. What's it called? I think moving it to the 10% range makes it hopefully a little bit more representative, as well as just like, I would also be very open to just moving 7.5 to 5% as well, just to kind of make the proportions a little bit more even. But that's it about me. I'm guessing, okay. I yield the rest of my time to the chair.
Thank you. So there's 3 minutes for Q&A for this amendment to the amendment. And I guess you call.
Leo?
Do you think that eight people from UA in the minimum, like having the forum and having the minimum like UA member, like 67% is going to be UA elected members and 15%, I think 8 is enough. I'm still having an issue with like,
I thought for quorum we needed, like how many people? We need 8 people for quorum?
We need a
we
majority.
need 50%,
Okay,
so it's 12.
okay.
So it's 2/3
Okay, I get it.
people, so it's 8 people. Like
Okay,
the
I
words, I have an issue with the word presence. Because like the quorum is already very low, like it's already 50 plus 1, 50%. Simple majority.
You can't control present, it's whatever like. That you're voting.
And I'll also say like if people might care about it, I think they should show up to vote on something that does matter.
But still like 8% to like change constitution is 8 people to constitution.
And we'll keep it question and answer for a second.
Yeah.
2 more minutes.
Motion to allow some.
Second.
All elected members in favor of elapsing Q&A. Any opposed? That motion clearly passes. So we will now enter debate. I really should write down, don't want to get in trouble like I did previously. Oh, maybe that's better.
Thank you.
You know what?
There.
Smart man right there. So we'll do a pro con debate with speakers alternating pro con. Do we have anyone that would like to speak pro? And again, just to clarify, we are speaking about the amendment which is currently on the screen. So if you're speaking pro, you're in favor to this current amendment to the amendment. Would you like to speak pro?
I'll speak pro.
Yes.
Point of parliamentary procedure.
Yeah.
But is this on the amendment to the amendment, the one that Aiden put, or is this on the
Correct.
amendment, which is the present?
The amendment to the amendment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Others that would like to speak pro? Okay, do we have people that would like to speak con? Mo?
Wait, could you clarify again? We're speaking on pro or con to this, like the percentages.
Yeah, what we have highlighted here, which is
So
an amendment.
pro is like 10 and 7.5 and con is 10 and 5 or what?
7.55.
What?
If it's common.
Could you like put like what the old one is below it, so people clearly see what the difference is? Not the old one, but the.
Yeah.
So if you're speaking con, you believe in like, you're talking about the old numbers?
We're gonna write it out clearly, so we're on the same page. Yeah. Okay, any questions about this before we proceed? Okay, so we have Mo, Con, you, Con. Any others that would like to speak pro or con on this amendment to the amendment?
I'll speak.
You'll speak on pro, okay. You'll speak con. Anyone else that would like to speak at this time?
I can speak.
Anyone else? Okay. So we will now, we'll do 5 minutes for a debate, with 30-second, speaking time. Or we'll do 1 minute speaking, actually 1 minute speaking time, starting with pro, and we'll alternate. I'll make it 6 because we. 1 minute, whenever you're ready, so.
Alright, I think I made a lot of my case when I first like introduced this amendment. I am a little worried about just like, like all you need really is two more people like to vote. Like if we're at absolute bottom of quorum, which is 12 people, you only need two more people to vote in favor of this amendment to get it from 67% to 80%. And as a result, you're kind of removing the say of the need for around 750 undergraduates to have their say. That's a really big number to me. I think that like students should especially have their say when it comes to constitutional amendments that are impact not just UA but all branches of Penn student government. And thus I feel that a shift from a shift of the jump from 15 to 7.5 to instead 15 to 10% is still kind of respecting the idea of making it a little bit more proportional between undergraduate input as well as UA vote share. And thus I feel that a 5% jump is a lot less I think I'm trying to find the right word for it, Aiden Carey, you probably know it, disenfranchising, what's it called, for undergraduates compared to a 7.5% jump, and I yield the rest of my time.
Didn't have any of that, but okay, so now we will go through the con list, starting with these.
Okay, I have 4 points to make. One, I agree, I think that we should flesh out all the thoughts and ideas people have on this, and then table it for later to think about it more, but just hear everyone's input. Second of all, I agree with Musab on the thought that 100% of UA elected members, 80%, one person can abstain or say no, and then you would instantly fall into the second category. For example, what happened today. So I think we should keep that into account when we consider the percentages. Third thing is, if we were to have 36 elected members, that means that every person represents 277 students. And if you have 3 different student percentage, so that you represent 900 kids. So technically this number is better for students than for UA elected members. Yeah. I yield that.
Thank you. Julia?
Yeah, so I also worry about disenfranchisement, in terms of these numbers, 5%. Of undergraduates is just not a lot to me, even if 100% of UA members vote vote the same way on something. In addition, every UA member doesn't necessarily represent 277 students, because yes, while the president and the vice president represents the entire student body, we don't represent the entire student body. I technically represent the college, so I think that that's an issue as well. Do people who voted for me are all in the college, do I necessarily represent the student bodies of Wharton, nursing, and engineering? I don't think so. I also think, I just think 5%, I yield the rest of my time.
Now,
Yeah, first, I agree with Mo, we should discuss this now and talk about it more on the 19th. Second, I think it just depends how principled or pragmatic you want to be about it. If we're going this 10%, 80% of the UA, you would need equal, if not more, votes on the constitutional amendment than the entire election cycle we just had. And I don't think that it's feasible nor even possible to ever get that amount of turnout for something that is like this. I think a lot of the changes we make in the Constitution are going to be ones that are structural rather than the UA is taking a specific stance on something. And that's why the bar to be lower and prefer EMs is better, because EMs have and UA members in general have the most knowledge on the UA specifically rather than your average voter. And then to Julia's point, I think I just disagree with this in general. All our votes matter for the rest of the school, because I think when we vote as a whole body, you're voting representing the entire school's interest. I think it's also very hard to delineate between specifically what a college student wants versus what a Wharton student wants. And the last thing is also the seats are divided proportionately to the amount of people you represent. So a college EM represents the amount of people as a Wharton EM.
Tommy.
The function of a constitution is to be very stable, set in stone, hard to change, so that it's a very strong backing for any student who from freshman joining the university, from the very beginning to someone who's a senior at the very end of their time at Penn. It should be very difficult to change. It should be set in stone. It should not be super easy to change just like that. And while I do like the idea of making change happen, and this amendment in total will make change happen, it would be best to make that threshold still higher, so that even students in the student body who care even enough to read what they're voting on in this 15%, 10%, 7.5% bracket, like even those students who care enough to read what they're voting on, they should at least feel like their vote actually matters in that like I actually have a say, like. Yeah.
Thank you. And Ben?
So first off, on this like this franchise, no, I'm not sure if I see it that way because just having like a 5% requirement doesn't mean that 95% of the undergrad is not allowed to vote, right? Like it doesn't matter how low you put the requirement, everyone is still allowed to vote. The percentage that vote is more a reflection of student interest. So I think that's something that's really important to consider. I think although it's important that constitutions are not so easily changed, the reason that we need this amendment is because the past constitution has shown us that it's impossible to change and like it's defunct. It's necessary to reduce it. And I would actually, maybe this would be a separate amendment. I would actually advocate even lower percentages. I would advocate like probably 10%, 5%, and then just requiring that a referendum be held. Because the minimum percentages of like participation are not maximums in any way. It doesn't mean that your vote doesn't matter. It just means that students who elected us to make these decisions for them, because they don't actually care about a lot of the little questions, that we can do that duty for them instead of delegating it back to them. And even with like the original more conservative percentages, I still see it as being like impossible.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Wonderful. And if we could just keep the side chatted down a little bit, I'd appreciate that. Now we will, so I'm supposed to read the amendment, which we have on screen, just the percentage changes before we move to voting procedure. As we have a last debate, are there any motions to extend debate? Yeah, so as we have reached the end of debate, we will enter a roll call vote on this amendment, which is, just to be very clear, is what we have on screen. If you are pro for this amendment to the amendment, you want the percentages on the top. And if you are against it, you want, or you know, you're against those percentages.
Okay. Okay. Naya? Musab?
On.
Aiden?
Nay.
Musab? Or sorry, Mo.
Racial voting.
Yeah. I can also come back to you. Yeah. Zilla?
Bro.
Chinmay?
You come back.
Yeah. Tanvi? Ben?
Nay.
Aisha? Nay. Ishika?
Please come back to me.
Sure. Pierce? Good. Amira?
And
Samya?
Okay.
Charmaine?
Nay.
Jay?
Nay, sorry.
Nay, sorry. Solon? Sophie?
Nay.
Ryan? Oh, my bad. BK? Vance? Naya?
On. Nay.
Thea? Oh, Ishika.
I'll go pro.
So this needs a majority to pass.
Okay, the vote does not pass. 6A, 12A.
Never asked me, Julie.
Oh.
Nay.
I'll go on, I go spend.
All right, so the vote does not pass. 6A, 13.
All right, so we're,
Members present.
sorry,
We're still in the members present amendment, correct?
yes. So we're back to this. We are talking about members present. And we are in Q&A, if I remember correctly. Does that sound right? Q&A?
Motion to.
Can we just like Have more thoughts on this table it.
We can table it.
Motions. Wait.
Do we both have more thoughts? We should.
I think there are thoughts.
Yeah, Ben,
Could I raise one thought and then motion to table this for later?
or we should hear other people's other thoughts and then.
Sorry, before, like, we're in Q and A for this amendment right now, so like,
End with like a sort of question mark sounding.
yeah.
Okay. Have you considered, having even lower percentages? I was thinking something like 10-5, and then just hosting a referendum at all, because if it's an issue that really matters to voters, then like just hosting a referendum means people have the opportunity to reject it. But at the same time, I think that if we do have an 100% vote in the assembly, then that like that shows a lot actually. And in that case, I would say that like unless the undergraduates object, then it's reasonable just to pass it in itself, right? So you still host a referendum, but there's not minimum requirements, because that allows us to like fix like legalese, like logistical things that realistically you couldn't find like 24 people outside of this room that would actually be interested. So I'm basically saying we consider even further lowering the percentages.
Wait, yeah, I mean. I have my personal thoughts, and I would love to consider it, but also I think I wonder how the body feels about it. That's why I also think Mo's idea of like, just think about it now and then let it sit for a week or two and then repass it on the 19th could be good, and then we gauge what people feel. Yeah, Pierce.
Just response to Ben, I do think that.
Wait, sorry, just so we don't completely lose all order here, we should be asking questions
Okay.
for this amendment.
So I'd love to speak to you about this, but I'd love to respond to Ben and speak. Okay, I think that. Like the numbers actually should be lower, however, I think there should be like a percentage on the last one, because. There's no point of a referendum if it doesn't like. I don't know, I think there should be a percentage, but maybe like 2%. That is.
Okay, so we've definitely reached the end of question and answer for this. We want to extend Q&A for this amendment, or do we want to enter debate for this amendment?
Debate.
Motion to table.
I have a real.
Already second.
Stand by one.
Okay, hold on, we already have a.
Wait, he put a motion to table and I already seconded.
Yeah, I know. So we're voting on the amendment to table this until, won't be the next meeting or the following meeting, but until the 19th. All elected members in favor of tabling this entire thing, not just this amendment, is that correct? Whoever proposed the motion?
Yes.
You want to table the entire thing? Yeah. Okay, all elected members in favor of tabling this entire constitutional amendment resolution? Any opposed? Okay, can we do in favor again of tabling 1, 2, 3? Is that a hand to 4, 5?
No, I'm just praying.
6, 7. Oh.
I found God.
Everyone, hi.
It's Easter.
I call for a division of the assembly.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Give us chocolate.
So we'll do a football here.
I can actually.
We look at action.
Just shut them out though.
What do you want?
Like a stand.
Okay, this is the motion to table Musab's amendment for a later date, so we can think about things a little bit more. A, you wanna table. Nay, you don't wanna table, and you wanna keep talking about it. Naya. Okay. Musab.
Abstain.
Girl.
Nay.
Mo.
Alright, A is a table, right?
A is.
A.
I vote A. Taya. De Silva.
Nay.
Jinmei.
What? Abstain.
Tanvi. A. Ben.
Aye.
Aisha. Oh, she's out, okay. Ishika.
Abstain.
Pierce.
Amira. Samya. Charmaine.
Abstain.
Solon. Gopi. Ryan. DK. Vavance.
No, sorry.
The majority.
Yeah.
Okay, this vote passes to table 8A, 6 nay, 4 abstentions.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other motions to consider a document? Any motions to consider a press statement? Any other topics for new business?
Can I like?
Any other motions at this time? Is there a second?
Someone has.
Say a quick announcement, so like motion for quick noodle nook announcement, or like. Wait,
Sure.
it'll be like 1 minute. Wait, so at the actual vending machine, I have some plans like for the like undergraduate assembly. I wanna take pictures like with everyone at the machine, and I wanna make like a slideshow with it and like put it like in a Google Drive, and also make like a cute like video that like will like be like UA bonding. So if you wanna like go with me to the machine, let me know, or like send your pictures of you like trying out the ramen to me, please. And then I will make some cute like slideshows, Google Drive, things like that, videos.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where would these slides be distributed to?
Where do you think they should be the two?
I don't know, like I'm chill, like I think like the photos be great, especially if like you wanted to collab with like comps and like marketing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But like the Google slide is what kind of confused me.
Oh, when I say slideshow, it's just like yeah, of course, like I'll be collaborating with comps and sending them the photos. But I meant like mostly like a Google Drive link where like all the photos are in there from everyone that's like tried out the machine.
Okay, I guess it's going.
Do we vote on the motion?
That's all I got.
It's fine.
Wait, that just.
Motion to.
Sorry, man. Oh, God, it's okay. Oh, do you wanna go?
No, go.
And that just reminded me of like a final thought. I was invited to be on the committee on open expression that's like looking at the next guidelines. So if any guys have any questions, any concerns or criticisms that you want me to raise at like those meetings, text me, let me know exactly what you want me to say so that like I can get it done. And then also a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All elected members in favor? Any opposed? Thank you so much.